Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. I have here another pen for review, and this is on loan to me from a friend, and this is a Twiss pens or John Twiss pen. So it comes in this little cardboard box here, and if I lift the lid you will see this pen, and it comes with a little sort of pen sleeve, a little sort of velvety pen sleeve there. Now, the pen itself is a John Twiss, and this is in the lizard in the green. Now, this is made out of a vintage material, and it's made out of cellulose acetate, which was made around the 1930s to the 1940s in Le Mans in France. And the material was originally made for the likes of Parker, Waterman and Conway Stewart. So this is a vintage cellulose acetate, and it's made in strips of about 1 inch wide and in spiral wrapped around a mandrel. And you can kind of see that here. You can see that lizard imprint and the way that it spirals around the cap there, and also spirals around the body. And you can kind of see where that sort of 1 inch strip sort of changes from one to another. But this really is a lovely sort of cellulose acetate material here, and you can see that a little bit more on the cap where you get these stripes where the material goes from one to another. Now, this has an arrow clip that John Twiss has put on there, very reminiscent of Parker clips. It has a black finial there. Now, the pen itself is quite a thin pen, and I believe the reason for that is that the cellulose acetate comes in a much sort of thinner rod. And you can see here that it's really mostly a cylindrical pen, and so you've got the cap here and then it stops there, and there's a little bit of step down onto the body, and then that continues and it tapers slightly towards the end cap here, which is another black finial. But this material is really nice, and I've seen these on John Twiss's table a lot at pen shows, and he has varying colours. He has a green, he has a grey or a platinum, and a blue, and these are really quite a nice material. So this is a custom pen made from John Twiss at Twiss Pens. Now, if I unscrew the cap, you will see here it comes with a Twiss logo nib, and this is a Jovo steel nib, and that is a fine nib, and you'll see there it has a ABS plastic feed, and it also has a sort of plastic section there. And then if I unscrew this, you'll see that it has a standard international converter, and I screw that back on again. In terms of the size in my hand, this is actually a really good size pen in terms of length. In terms of girth, I actually like that John has actually sort of really sort of made the section a little bit more girthier there, because it makes it a lot more easier for me to actually hold that pen. Now, there is a slight step down here from those threads that you might be able to see there, and that I do find to be on a little bit on the sharp side. The threads itself are really not sharp, but you do feel them a little bit there, but it's more that step down, I would say, that is the sort of a little bit more on the sharp side of things. Can you post the cap? You can, and it becomes a wand, but I wouldn't want to post this material because I wouldn't want to dull the effect on this lovely a lizard skin going on there. So this really is quite a nice material. It's a vintage material, and I've looked at these on John Twiss's table quite a few times, and I've really been tempted at actually getting one of these, but I just haven't picked one up, mostly because there's so many other pens out there that I like, and at some point maybe I will pick one of these up. But this pen is on loan to me from a friend, so this pen will be going back. But for me, this is actually quite a nice pen. So I think let's do a size check. We'll do a weight check, and we'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the full length of the pen, we are looking at about 147 millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we are looking at 63 millimeters in length. And then the length of the pen to the tip of the nib or tip of the tines, we're looking at 135 millimeters. So that's actually quite a nice size pen for me. I think let's do a weight check. So the pen uninked, full weight of the pen is just over 16.5 grams. The weight of the cap, we are looking at 7 grams exactly. And then the weight of the body here, we are looking at just over 8 grams. So this is a super lightweight pen. So I think with that, let's go and do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero, and this is a Positano Blue. A Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Hawaii. A Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Mediterraneo. An Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the King Cobra. An Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Dragon. We have a John Twiss Lizard in the green Cellulose Acetate. We have a John Twiss Volcano, and this is in Alumilite. We have a Pelican M800 Oil Gold Vardon. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero Grande in the sand. And we have an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Blue Lucents. So I think let's go and do a writing sample. So this is the Twiss pens, and it's the Lizard in the green, and this is a Cellulose Acetate. Now, the nib in here, it's a Yovo nib, and it's a fine and it's a steel nib. Now, the ink in here is inked up with Diamine Sherwood Green. Now, in terms of line variation, we are looking at essentially a fine nib, and it's a steel nib. If I try to apply a little bit more pressure, I can almost take it to a medium, but it's a little bit shy of a medium, I would say. But you can see here there are no hard starts or skips with how that nib is writing. Now, this is a fine nib, but let's check the wetness of the nib. So this is a moderately wet nib. In terms of the downstrokes, it's more wetter than the cross strokes, and you can typically find this on a lot of Jowo nibs. You can also find it on Schmidt nibs as well. They tend to be tuned a little bit more with tighter tines so that you will get a slightly more drier nib when you write horizontally than you do vertically. So this nib or this pen you would be able to write in a notebook quite nicely. What do I like about this pen? What do I not like about it? Well, I like that it's using vintage cellulose acetate material. This is a material that is harder to come by nowadays. I do like the lizard skin sort of material here, and I like that it's been made in the 1930s, 1940s in Le Mans in France. And I like that all of the original pen makers, Parker, Waterman and Conway Stewart, were all using this as a material. I like that John Twiss made this pen. I like that it has a Jowo nib. I like that it's a cartridge converter. For me, I would say the pen is probably almost bordering on a little bit too thin for the kind of pens that I like. I tend to like pens that are a little bit more girthier, but I do love this material, and this is a pen that I've been looking to actually pick up for some time now when I go to pen shows, and I keep seeing them on John Twiss's table, and I really probably do need to pick one up at some point. What do I not like about the pen? Well, there really isn't a lot that I don't like. Maybe the diameter, girthiness of the size of the pen. Outside of that, though, there really isn't anything that I don't like. The nib writes very well. There's no hard starts, no skips. I think John Twiss has done a good justice to this material, and I think this is a very nice pen. So that's my review of the John Twiss Lizard in the green cellulose acetate. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.